Before Beatlemania, before Ed Sullivan, before Abbey Road, there was just this Love Me Do. But this wasn't just the Beatles' first single. It was a chaotic, uncertain, and slightly rebellious start to a revolution. A song written before the Beatles were the Beatles. Paul McCartney started writing Love Me Do around 1958 when he was just 16. The original version had no bridge, just verses. He likely wrote it while skipping school. John Lennon later helped finish it, particularly tightening the harmonies and adjusting the vocal delivery. The song predates George Harrison joining the group. The title that was too simple to be true at the time, Love Me Do, sounded almost laughably simple, even to producer George Martin. He later said, "I thought the lyric was pretty wet, but there was something in the harmonica." The harmonica riff was inspired by Bruce Channel's Hey Baby, which John admired. In fact, Channel's harmonica player Delbert McClinton had met John during a Liverpool concert just months before the recording. 3 drummers, 1 song. The final single had 3 different drummers across its life. Pete Best played it first in the June 1962 EMI audition. Ringo Starr played on the September 4th session. This version made it onto the original UK single. Andy White, a session drummer, was brought in for a September 11th re-recording after George Martin lost confidence in Ringo. On the Andy White version, Ringo was demoted to tambourine. Ironically, the original Ringo version was the one used for the single, but Andy's version was placed on the album and US releases. So even today, most fans grew up hearing Andy White, not Ringo. That harmonica almost got them in legal trouble. John's harmonica riff pushed the boundaries of copyright. Years later, producer Lou Reed said, "It was almost a rip of Hey Baby." The Beatles tread a fine line of musical borrowing here, deliberately mimicking the style that was popular in early 60s American rock, the song that EMI didn't even want. George Martin wasn't impressed by Love Me Do. He originally wanted them to record How Do You Do It, a lightweight pop tune written by Mitch Murray. The Beatles reluctantly rehearsed it, but insisted Love Me Do was more them. Their refusal was one of the first acts of artistic defiance that shaped their identity. Ironically, How Do You Do It became a #1 hit in the UK for Jerry and the Pacemakers. Charted slowly, very slowly. Love Me Do entered the UK charts at a modest number 49. EMI bought up 10,000 copies themselves to help boost its position, a common practice then. It only peaked at 17 on the UK chart in 1962, but that was a huge victory for an unknown Liverpool band. America didn't hear it for over a year. The US didn't hear Love Me Do until April 1964, after I Want to Hold Your Hand exploded. When Tolly Records finally released it in the States, Love Me Do shot to #1 in the US, nearly 2 years after it was recorded. It's easy to overlook Love Me Do. It's short, it's simple, but it's the first brick in a revolution. 3 drummers, 2 versions, 1 stubborn harmonica, and a band daring to say no to the suits. Love Me Do wasn't perfect, but maybe that's exactly why it worked. Do you know any interesting facts about this song too? Comment it and share it below. These facts and trivias are taken from credible sources. Mark Lewisohn's Tune In 2013. Recording the Beatles by Kevin Ryan and Brian Kehew. The Complete Beatles Recording Sessions. Ian MacDonald, Revolution in the Head. The Beatles, the Biography by Bob Spitz.